officially the mics are hot. We are on podcast number 4 with none other than Jacob Alava.
What's up, guys?
And it's 9 in the morning. Oh no, it's 10 in the morning and
we're gonna sip on this.
We're not
gonna finish it right away. We're gonna sip on it. Right.
That's why I have a straw. Exactly. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, Pat.
Cheers.
Sip on it, savor it, taste it. Ooh, that agave. Wow. It's good, right?
It's good.
Like it's not
good.
It's not the parang, the Cuervo ones are like, ugh.
What's the one the tequila na, yung the one that they always serve na
Cuervo.
during the bars? Cuervo ba?
Cuervo,
Or is
yeah.
it Patron?
I think
Patron
Patron
din
is
eh.
more expensive. I'm not sure, but like I know that it's Cuervo. Like if
Cuervo.
you just wanna get hammered,
Yeah.
yun yung pinakamurang best alternative.
So this is, what do you call this again?
This one's Don Julio.
Don
Shout out
Julio.
to my uncle and my aunt for sponsoring this Don Julio.
Don Julio podcast.
It's good, diba?
It's good. It's really good.
It's not overpowering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yun nga eh, parang it's like alcohol and drinking. You have a video on that, bro.
Yeah, I do.
So what do you think about alcohol and drinking? Can it be done?
It definitely can be done. It's just a matter of priorities. Like, are you, let's say, competing, or are you going to be, just a lifestyle person, which is my handle. Like, I'm a lifestyle person. I just love lifting. I love, just working out, tapos living life, drinks once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm very extroverted. So, like, this pandemic is such a hassle.
Dude,
but like,
grabe, lahat ng
such a
plans,
hassle.
bro.
But it can be done.
Can be done. Exactly.
Yeah. I guess like if you're more advanced and you want to grow to a certain level, it's going to be harder. You're going to have to, limit it. But if you're just, let's say you just want to be lean, you just want to look good, be fit, it can totally be done. And I'm sure you totally know about it.
Yeah, bro. I mean, the way I eat naman, I'm a junk food guy, and I think you are too.
Yeah.
But I mean, when it comes to all of those, everything is about just fitting in your macros.
True.
I mean, of course, you have to have your micronutrients as well.
Yeah.
But when it comes to strict weight loss, it can be done because some people ask, can you still eat this certain food and lose weight? Can you eat that certain food and still lose weight? You can eat whatever food you want as long as it fits your macros. And the most important thing, of course, it's still the calorie deficit. I mean, we all know that. And even drinking still has calories though. 7 calories per gram of alcohol.
It's its own macronutrient.
Exactly.
But it's very empty.
Yes. Right? I think the danger with drinking and your bodybuilding, your weight loss goals is the food that you eat with it. Yung minsan medyo nagmamunchies ka, diba? So I think that's the more killer component of drinking eh. And especially if you don't train kasi medyo hungover ka, diba?
Definitely. And that's definitely a huge part of it. One is the excess calories. 2, it's empty. Like, wala siyang tulong whatsoever when you're training. And when you overconsume it, you feel like crap, hangover, right?
Yeah.
And it affects your natural testosterone. Because if you are in the muscle building phase, it's not ideal to overconsume. But like a shot or 2, or a glass of whiskey, or a glass of wine, a bottle of beer, it's totally fine.
To me, I think it's healthier not to go hard sometimes, diba? Kasi if you're looking for that, yung the hit of alcohol talaga, you'll get less calories and more bang for your buck with hard drinks. Unlike with beer, you can take 1 bottle, 2, 3 bottles, minsan 4 pa nga, diba?
Well, yeah, but it depends on what you're trying to achieve. Kung
Yun
gusto
nga.
mong malasing,
Yeah.
then the hard ones are definitely the better option. Pero if you just enjoy the taste of the alcohol, like for me, a San Mig Light is always going to be there. Like, oh, I just want to drink something,
Yeah.
It's always going to be there.
Exactly.
And it's
dude,
the best option.
San Mig Light.
100 calories lang. They have the lower calorie ones, pero they don't taste
How
as
many
good.
calories is pale?
I think it's 140, if I'm not mistaken.
140.
140, yeah.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. It could be like 140 to 160.
So for you, when you cut, you never took out alcohol from your diet.
It depends. If it's for, let's say, I did bodycon before. So, no alcohol. Syempre, that's kind of like a pageant show. So, talagang no alcohol. But like, when I'm just cutting usually when I just cut, it's for the beach. It's for, for an event or something. I still drink,
Lifestyle cut
Yeah,
lang.
lifestyle siya eh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't take it out if you enjoy it, right?
And I asked some of the questions on my Instagram a few days back,
Yeah.
diba? And someone wants to know, you're huge on YouTube, man. Almost 100K. Where's that silver play button gonna be? It's gonna
be somewhere over
somewhere
there.
there.
Somewhere over there.
So how do you grow your YouTube channel? What are some tips for somebody to grow their own YouTube channel?
So first off, thank you, Miko, for the congrats. And as cliche as it may sound, you have to be passionate about it. You have to want it. Because like, I know of a lot of people who, I'll do a YouTube video. I'll start my YouTube channel, tapos, okay, I'll upload a video or two. Then wala na. Like, it's not something na, I just want to do this. You have to be passionate about it. Every time I make a video, it's more like, how can I be of value? How can I be of service? Like, what can I do? What can I provide? And I always go back to that because there's so many people out there who don't know anything, absolutely anything. And the fact that you are able to do something to help them, yun yung why ko eh. So initially it started out as I was consistently uploading for 1 year. Walang nanonood. I had less than 1,000 subs 1 year. So it's easy to quit. I almost quit. I actually had a video. Pinrivate ko siya. Dinamdam ko yung 1 year. It was my
Post
birthday.
Post mo na, bro.
Naka-private na eh. Pero
maka-public mo na yan.
Tingnan natin. Pero
pag 100K na.
Pero naluluha ako dun sa video na yun, bro. Kasi emotional ako dun. I was like, I went all in YouTube, guys, by the way. So I quit my job. Parang no plan, just coaching. So I was like, all in ako dito. Wala akong backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were supposed to put up a gym, pero nawala rin yun. So wala akong backup plan. So what I did was, nag-all in ako sa YouTube. And ito, may konting kodigo ako for helping you grow a YouTube channel. Pero when it comes to growing a YouTube channel kasi, it's consistency. Number one, you have to keep uploading. Okay, to hanapin ko lang siya quickly.
Yeah, bro. And I mean, what were you doing before YouTube? What was your day job?
I was in 3 years in a stock brokerage. So I was a sales guy for stock brokerage. So I used to sell the service. Okay, so it was fun. I enjoyed it. I got to travel around the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
But like at the end of the day, you just go home and look forward to working out. It's the passion.
That's truly your passion.
It's your passion.
Yeah.
So back to how to grow a YouTube channel, the basic tips. I'll just get straight to it. Again, it's the mindset. You have to love it. You really have to love it. Okay, like it's not something that I think I can profit from this. I will do it. If you think about that, you'll be surprised. It's not as profitable as you may think. It depends on a certain size, and it depends on how much ads you place. But ako personally, I don't place a lot of ads in my videos just because, it's annoying. So,
oh yeah, dude. I watch those videos sometimes, yung mga podcast, tapos in between every 15 minutes, there's a ad.
And they put it right before the main part.
A good part.
Yeah, like for example, like this is the secret. 3, 2, 1 ad.
Yeah, dude.
That's the worst.
The YouTube videos I like to watch just to unwind sometimes. Yung mga fail videos, yung mga falling, videos. I love to see people fall. I don't know why. Nakakatawa lang talaga. Yeah. So it's like before they fall, Shopee!
Yeah. Climax is biglang boom!
Yeah, dude. Wala na.
Yeah. Okay, so sige, to answer that question quickly. Few tips. Tapang nito. Sarap. First is your content must be good. Dito sa Philippines, you have to have funny or informative of value content. Kasi nakikita nyo naman, there's this, sa Philippines, it's different from the whole world na how the videos are, diba?
Yeah.
It's either very funny, informative, or full of personality yung tao, which is not me. I'm not like, the type of person. Like, I just provide value. So your content must be good. People must take value from it. Tapos number 2 is niche down. Don't try to do everything kaagad. Like, I started out with fitness, then slowly branching out into lifestyle. Parang ganun. You don't start right away na today, I did a chest workout, tapos tomorrow, a day in my life, walking around or whatever. Like, diba? Parang ang random. Diba? Niche down. Kasi people don't know you eh. Like, how do you want to be known for? Like, you can't be like, ito yung fitness guy na, na out of nowhere, nag-post ng shopping. Parang ganun. Get yourself out there first before you do that. You have to have people invested in you. Number 3, your content must be searchable. So no one cares about you, so you have to make them care. So when you make your titles like ako, for example, meron akong paano pumayat without exercise.
Yeah.
Like it's not clickbait. I gave you the content.
Yeah.
It's just now you have to search. Your titles must be what people are searching.
Yeah.
Diba? Like put yourself in the shoes na naghahanap, diba? And again, number 4 is consistency. Tapos for the last few ones, you have to be engaging. Engaging in a sense na you always have to have B-roll. You always have to have parang you don't want people to click off. So B-roll is good, and if instead of talking about something, show it. Okay? Tapos last is listen to your audience. Like for the longest time nag-English ako and they want me to go Tagalog. So Tagalog ako for some time. And they were like, di ko maintindihan, sir, pag nag-English ka. Tagalog mo na lang. Oh, dude. And like ako in my head, sobrang sayang naman yung effort ko if, I'm trying to provide value. Hindi naman nila maintindihan.
Yeah.
Right? So might as well nag-Taglish na lang ako. And that helped me talaga.
That's one of the things that I'm still struggling with up to now.
Yeah,
because
I'm
I
sure.
I can, because I don't know if you know that, but I moved from the States when I was 16, and then I moved here. Not a single word of Tagalog. I never spoke any Tagalog whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I didn't start speaking Tagalog till I was in college when people started speaking to me in Tagalog.
Yeah.
And I started, hearing, the how you do it, the structure of it and everything. But till now, there was a time that I was in the old food place, BGC,
Mercato.
Mercato.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. So we were buying food I was with Pat. Tapos we were looking around muna, diba? You look around muna, see which one you want to eat first.
Yeah.
Tapos we went to this one stall na parang, ate, sige, babalik tayo Tapos hindi niya gets yung parang babalik tayo. Diba that's wrong, diba? Babalik kami, diba? So I told her talaga, sige ate, medyo confident pa ako, bro. Sige ate, babalik tayo Tapos yun, bro.
Tatawa si Pat.
It's true, dude. And it still happens up to now.
I'm sure.
As in, when I talk to some people, parang I talk to Pat and she corrects me. And I've been talking that way to my friends and they haven't been correcting me all this time. Parang, shit, I've been parang stupid talaga ako the way I talk to them. But yeah, dude, it's a struggle for me to do that. But, you have to adapt. Diba?
You have to.
You have to adapt.
I didn't want to, but I had to. Because when there was this guy who was like, sir, I really like the content, hindi ko lang talaga siya maintindihan. And it's not his fault, right?
Yeah.
So you have to adjust. You have to, target a wider audience, help more people.
Yeah.
Taglish na lang. It's not necessarily full Tagalog, but Taglish.
Yeah.
That's what I'm comfortable with. So.
Yeah. So what helped you start with IIFYM? What got you into IIFYM and flexible dieting?
Interestingly enough, it was an influence from the both of you. That was one. Because 2014, I remembered. 2015, I was experimenting on different diets because nothing worked for me. Ano na ako nun college graduate na ako. So I was done with college and I still didn't get what I wanted. I was doing insanity, all that crazy stuff.
Yeah,
I thought I'd get ripped. Then I looked into IIFYM, flexible dieting, online. Una, it was this guy. He was actually si Mike Vacanti, if you know him. He's the coach of Gary Vaynerchuk.
Okay, yeah.
He's the coach of Gary Vaynerchuk. So he had a nice blog that talked about macros, flexible dieting. And I was like, what the hell is this? Ano to? Tapos, may nakita akong 2 tao sa Instagram. May picture pa nga ako dun sa phone ko. Nagpa-flexible dieting. Tapos they're so fit. And kayo yun. I was like, paano tong flexible dieting na to? So, I looked at it. I tried it out. My whole 2015, I tried it out. Syempre, you have to try things out.
Yeah.
I was tracking my macros. Then I was like, wow, after 6 months of tracking, it wasn't even a full cut. It was kind of a recomp. I was like, I get to eat the stuff I like. I get to eat McDo. Nagulat ako. I just tried it all out 6 months and I looked my best.
Yeah.
I looked my best. Crazy. I was lifting too. No structure whatsoever. It was the nutrition that really leveled up my physique. I was like, wow, I get to eat and I get to eat and, look this way. Sabi kasi sa akin before, chicken breast lang
Chicken breast, kamote.
Tapos dapat walang salt.
Walang salt.
Kung may salt, di mawawala yung lower belly fat.
Walang rice.
So I've gone through that, guys. So it's normal to go through that. Pero this flexible dieting kasi it gives you it gives you the freedom to eat the things you like without being deprived. Syempre, it's still gonna be a diet if you're cutting, but you can get to eat McDonald's. Ganyan. And I saw your lifestyle, the SNR diet.
The
I was
SNR
like,
diet.
I remember, dude, I was working out with my friend, si Patrick. So, nag-gym kami. And I was showing him, tiyan mo tong dalawang to. Kumakain ng SNR, pero ganyan yung condition. Kaya yan. So, for me, it was the Mike Vacanti guy, some YouTube videos, and kayo, which started the flexible dieting life for me.
Yeah, with flexible dieting kasi, Pat was the first one to actually discover it. She discovered it from Lane Norton. He was the one who introduced first metabolic damage. It started with metabolic damage, and as you dug deeper into it, you would see things like being able to eat what you want to eat, being able to eat anything as long as it fits your macros. So that's when he started to explain that calories in versus calories out. That's where we learned that concept. And it was put to the test when we started IIFYM with competing in 2014. Because at first, I didn't start with flexible dieting. That wasn't my first diet for competition. I did the typical bro diet. So chicken breast lang, rice, tapos green leafy vegetables. That was actually the first thing I used for my first competition prep. And I only realized that actually the true power of IIFYM was when Pat competed with it, because she used it for SRC 2015. Sabay naman kami. I almost said tayo. Sabay naman tayo eh. Sabay naman kami. So we started counting our calories, counting our macros, and we noticed na even though I competed the year before, we started getting leaner and feeling less deprived, which I think is the key to IIFYM. Yung not feeling restricted and not feeling deprived, and being able to fit whatever food you want to eat, aside from, yung parang it's the freedom of having to eat whatever. I mean, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to deprive yourself. You don't have to stress yourself out, because when you deprive yourself, that causes stress pa rin eh. No matter what, when you're dieting, that'll cause stress. That can help you, that can make you hold water, things like that. So being able to have that luxury was a game changer for us. So yeah.
Yeah. And
Isa pang uncorking. Hindi na record eh. Yun. What do you have there, bro?
Don Julio.
What is that?
The higher one is for you, bro. You were the guest of honor. Sips lang.
Sips lang. Enjoy lang. But it's really good.
Cheers.
Legit. Cheers, bro.
Okay.
So, let's start with the next question. Why did you stop counting your calories?
Oh, I get asked that a lot, no? There's actually no point. Like, when you've been doing this for a while, I'm sure you guys know this. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure you don't count.
Dude, I haven't counted since 2018. That was the last.
What I tell my clients and everyone beginning pa lang, like, you should count sa start just to have a sense of how much you're eating. Because it's just like riding a bike. Like, when you're a beginner, you need training wheels unless you're super duper gifted in riding a bike, diba? But like, you need training wheels. So my training wheels, my first 2 years, count ako ng count. So I actually kind of knew not exactly the quantity and the calories, but more of what kind of macronutrient is this food. That alone makes a huge difference, right? Like, for example, basic, pizza or cheese pizza, that's probably like carbs and fat, right? Rice, that's probably carbs lang. And some people don't know that.
Yeah.
Some people are like, ano ang peanut butter, diba?
Yeah.
Or like, ang pork belly, protein yun, diba?
Yun.
Ganung protein.
Yep.
Ganung protein lang.
It's more fat, less protein nga eh.
So when you have that in your head, like, no point to count calories because you kind of know already. And I'm just maintaining. I'm not trying to, I'm not cutting. If I'm cutting, I will count. But I'm not cutting or I'm not bulking. So ganun lang. Like, I'd count if I had something to do, like a goal to look forward to. But if I'm just maintaining, I just keep, protein high and, just not so conscious about everything. Just work out regularly, quality lifts, and, eat parang protein, carbs, and yung fat. Everything almost has fat, diba? So
almost.
I'm conscious about my protein intake. Yun. So that's why I stopped counting. Like, no point there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's such a thing as counting fatigue. There really is.
Oh,
As in,
yeah.
if you're counting every day, especially that when I started prepping,
It's usually the new ones.
exactly.
The new ones.
And it's fun to count in the beginning, especially when you get a good grasp of how to count your calories and you have that power in the, hey, I can eat whatever food I want and it'll still fit my macros and I can still lose weight. So that kind of becomes an addiction. That became an addiction for me. I couldn't stop counting my calories and I stopped as soon as I started bulking because honestly, my only gauge is gaining weight. That's my only gauge. And as long as I'm looking okay naman, na I'm not putting on too much weight, na I can see the fat stores beginning to increase, then for me, 1 or 2 pounds a week is good enough. So counting calories, I recommend then filling up your MyFitnessPal database. I think that's really huge because the MyFitnessPal database, you can always go back and you can eat what you want when your database is filled out there. And there's also a barcode scanner feature in the app where you can just keep inputting all of those items into the database, and the more things you have in it, the more flexible you can be. So fill up your database and yun, I mean, have a good scale.
Yeah.
Diba?
And like I think one thing that needs to be mentioned is there are people who get so obsessed with the counting, eh.
Right.
And it's unhealthy. I actually have a client now. He's kind of obsessed with counting. I have to tell him na, you know, because once you get a really nice physique from counting, you don't want to let it go,
Yes.
diba? Especially if it's your first time.
Yes.
And if you've come from a physique that's really far off from where you are after counting, you gotta let go of that mindset. That's what I tell him. Like, you know, don't get too caught up in that. You can always get back to that. Pero, you know, relax. Counting fatigue nga, diba? Take a break.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few friends who I taught how to count their calories, and you know they learned how to do it when they start getting too thin.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you know when they're kind of going overboard na rin, because you teach them and then they learn it and they learn how to do it well. But the thing is, they keep pushing it to
Overboard
the point,
na eh.
overboard na. They're super gaunt na, and they can't stop, you know, looking at their phone, and they're always on MyFitnessPal looking for it because they know how to do it. Eh. So there's a point where it becomes unhealthy when you always count your calories. Like you see food as a number and only a number, and that's kind of like the red pill, blue pill when it comes to IFPA.
Exactly.
Once you take that red pill, you can't unsee it anymore. But that's why you slowly have to wean off it a bit.
Yeah, it takes time. Like, I'm sure, like, both of us, even Pat siguro, probably got obsessed at some point. Then you just have to let it go.
Right.
Experience will teach you na, you know, you don't have to keep doing this all the time.
Mm-hmm. So how do you maintain your physique nowadays?
Nowadays, actually, the secret to maintaining a good physique is to actually build a lot of muscle prior to maintaining it. So you get to a certain point, build a lot of muscle. The more muscle you carry, I'm not the biggest guy out there, but your natural set point, your body's natural set point will adjust to that, how much muscle you have. Eh. So I can get away with eating a lot of crap and drinking just because I have a lot of muscle mass. So what I do is I lift heavy, of quality, usually RPE 8. That's what you told me before. Like, I asked advice from Miko. He was like, you know, just do RPE 8 for your lifts, but be true to the RPE 8. So sa mga hindi nakakaalam, RPE 8 just is 2 reps shy of failure. So every lift, let's say I do 10, quality siya, mabigat siya. So, and it's not necessarily for me to grow, but just to maintain the muscle mass. The more muscle mass you carry, the higher your TDEE is, right? Because like you're carrying more weight, so you get to eat more. You basically ganun siya. So guys, if you want to, let's say, have an easier time maintaining a physique, regular workouts, build more muscle, tapos keep the protein high. Okay, so I'm conscious about my protein intake, but I don't really take into account carbs and fat. I just kind of weigh it out, like, oh, sobra na ako sa fat today, so babawasan ko yung carbs ko.
Right.
Or like, sobra ako sa carbs and fats as much as possible. Ideally, you want your protein high pa rin. Pero if I'm just, you know, I want to stay lean, I would take that protein hit in kulang. And it's not gonna kill me, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's my secret, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yun nga eh. I mean, that's the hard part for me. The hard part for me was always building muscle because I'm an ectomorph deep down.
Yeah.
If you look at me, I'm still a 130-pound man in a
but
170-pound body.
He's
right
bigger
now.
Like in person, kapal.
I'm 175 now.
Sick. You're heavier than me now, bro.
What's your weight now?
170, 172.
Not by much. Not by much.
Pero if you see him in person, sick.
Dude,
Puno.
it took a lot, man. A lot of
sure.
McDo.
I'm sure.
But that's the thing. I mean, for me, it was always just about building muscle. I agree with you on that point. I mean, the more muscle you have, the more glycogen can be stored in the muscle. So your nutrient partitioning is a lot better. I mean, that's the big thing. Eh. If you have less muscle, you have less carbs that can go into muscle, less energy that could possibly be stored to fat. Because yun nga, when your muscle glycogen, parang think of it as a reserve fuel for the body. If you don't have that much muscle, some of that extra calories can accumulate in terms of fat gain.
Hindi gagamitin.
Exactly. Unlike if you have more muscle, you can get away with eating more because the excess carbs or that'll fill up your glycogen stores in the muscle. So that's a good piece of advice. Build as much muscle as you can, especially if you're an ectomorph, and if you're a mesomorph, same thing, go for it. If you're an endomorph naman, like you easily store fat gain, that's where I think na you should. It's a little bit trickier.
Yeah,
It's
I think
a
you
lot
have to be
trickier.
more conscious about your calorie intake, just not to go over. Just because
Definitely.
you're naturally tabain eh. That's the word.
Yeah,
tabain
that's the
eh.
word.
So you have to be more conscious about that eh. Like, you are an ecto, diba?
I'm an
Ako,
ecto.
I think I'm a meso. I don't know. To be honest, I really don't know. But, yeah, medyo yung endo, iba yung strategy nun.
Yeah,
diba?
definitely. I think they should
Ibang
incorporate
problema.
a little bit more cardio. They should really watch their calories a bit more, especially in the off season. For an endomorph, off seasons are a little bit more critical. Kasi yun nga eh, if you're trying to cut down, endomorphs typically have a harder time losing fat. So you want to keep your gains as lean as possible, or try to keep them as lean as possible, because when it comes to cutting period, you don't want to be always having to increase your cardio. You don't want to have to keep reducing your calories, which will in turn increase your ghrelin, increase your hunger. That's just the hunger hormone. Basta mga ganun. So, yun, I mean, maintaining your physique also has to do with different body types, but it is much easier for ectomorphs and mesomorphs than it is for an endomorph.
When you're talking about being lean, diba? Well, that's what everyone wants to be. Diba?
Yeah.
Lean. I just want to be lean. Gusto ko yung may abs. Ganyan.
course.
No one wants to be like, oh, I want to be like big with abs. Ganyan. It's usually just gusto ko lang magka-abs. Parang ganun. Usually.
Yeah. But I mean, to
Most
get
of the
abs,
time.
it's not that hard if you know how to count your calories. It is hard for some people, don't get me wrong. It definitely is a challenge. But sometimes the thing is they're also wrong with their counting. They don't include oil.
Sobrang daming nagkakamali sa counting, dude.
Yeah.
Like sobra.
I mean, you as a coach, bro, I mean, what are some of the biggest mistakes that people make when first starting IIFYM?
So I'm an IIFYM coach, if you guys don't know. So I have my clients track macros. If you are not willing to track macros, you are not my client. So basically, may binabagayan ng coaching eh. You guys have to know that, right? So I don't accept everyone. Sa akin, I want to introduce the IIFYM lifestyle to people. And the biggest mistake na nakikita ko is mali-mali yung inputs. Like, for example, you're gonna eat chicken breast. Yung input niya na chicken breast, iba-iba all the time. Like, for example, yung chicken breast na ginamit niya, this is a different input. Pero yung next input niya, chicken breast pa rin, pero different input. So, ibang calories, ibang macros. That's one. Another thing is, people like to input those mga adobo, yung mga mixed food, Filipino food. Because I know it sucks, pero IIFYM and tracking, you really have to track individual ingredients, diba? You can't do like adobo, tapos you just look for a random serving, you didn't even weigh it, and you put in adobo. That's like a shot in the dark. Hulaan tayo nun.
You're gambling,
diba?
bro.
You're gambling. So, ibig sabihin, yung result mo for that day, gamble na. And you know it's a long-term thing, diba? So, if you keep making that mistake again and again, tapos sasabihin mo, nag-try ako ng macros, tapos hindi siya gumana sa akin, hindi ka nag-try mag-macros.
Bro, you're giving IIFYMers a bad name.
Yeah,
Imagine,
exactly.
diba?
Parang, nag-IIFYM ako, it doesn't work. Patingin nga ng inputs mo, yun yung chine-check ko eh. So yeah, there was this one time, there was this guy who was telling me, IIFYM doesn't work. Tracking my macros, I don't know why you guys do it, doesn't work, ganyan. Then I was like, can I see your MyFitnessPal? Then he showed me. I was like, ano tong in-input mo? Sa cafeteria food yan.
Patay.
Ganun. Tsaka may potato corner. Parang ganun. I was like, that's...
Baka naka-giga fries pa yan.
Tera.
Pero small bucket pa.
In-input niya small, pero tera pala in order. Kidding aside, no? It doesn't work that way eh. it's still gonna be a diet. At the end of the day, you're still gonna have to know what's in it. You're trading flexibility for strictness, parang ganun, accuracy, something like that, right?
Right.
Like you will be able to eat your McDonald's, but you'll have to count it. For me, that's a worth it trade off. Because
Yeah.
like, what other diet can make you eat? It's not even IFYM isn't even a diet, diba? But what other thing or diet or whatever can make you eat McDonald's, diba?
Right.
Keto, McDonald's.
Yeah.
Baka
it's hard.
fried chicken lang, diba?
Yeah,
Yung mga
exactly.
ganun, diba?
Someone here is asking, he's still a student, so how can he bodybuild but still eat the meals he has at home?
So I think with a lot of young ones, the priority talaga is to just hit the gym, right? Because if you're
Hindi pa tayo young. Bakit young ones?
bro, ibang topic yan. Bagong podcast yan. Malapit na tayo mag-30, bro. I feel bad. I'm gonna leave na joke lang. But like, for the young ones, you have so much potential to grow, even if you don't actually prioritize nutrition and you just lift
That's
quality, mind-muscle connection, correct form, wala pang RPE 8, RPE 8, just get your butt in the gym. You're gonna make so much gains, diba? Now, if it hits a plateau, diba? It will. That's when you start eating more protein, incorporating more carbs in your diet. Like, it doesn't have to be strict counting because you're a newbie. You make so much gains. You'll be surprised. Just be consistent. Like, get a program. It doesn't have to be a strict program. Like, basic lang. Like, 4 to 5 times upper, lower, or like, no push-pull legs. Wag na yung, kahit mag-bro split ka eh.
Yeah.
Gagana pa rin.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, for me, the way I see it is, it's funny nga kasi most of the beginners that ask questions, that try to look up things on bodybuilding, they're the ones that are too cautious when actually, ironically, the beginners are the ones who can break the rules nga eh. They are more prone to recomping. They are the ones who have the potential to make the most gains. Because syempre, newbie gains eh. So if I were to go back and become a beginner again, I would just eat as much as I could because I'm a hard gainer. I wouldn't say this naman for those that have, like I said earlier, that have that easily put on weight, endomorphs. But if you're a hard gainer, if you're a mesomorph, do not worry about your nutrition too much. Just make sure you are eating a good serving of protein with every meal and try to at least gain a pound or two a week. Make it a week because you have so much potential for growth, especially as a beginner. You're shocking the body. The body doesn't know what's going on yet, so it's just trying to get stronger. It's just trying to put on more muscle. And yun nga, they're the ones that are a little bit too meticulous naman with, what is the best program for growth? How do I make this bigger and keep this smaller? How do I put on weight? Ganito. Parang they're looking for very specific answers when it doesn't need to be that specific. Just train, eat lots of protein, eat lots of food, try to put on weight. Like I said, for those that have a hard time, not so much. It kind of has to be tracked. But yun nga parang for beginners talaga, dude. I feel like they're wasting a lot of opportunity talaga.
And you know what's funny is that when they're so critical about these things that don't really matter, it kind of burns them out eh.
Burns them out.
Burns them
For
out.
sure.
Like parang, this is complicated. Parang ganyan. I'm parang, okay, I want to know this, I want to know that. But it's too complicated for me to understand. So I'm just gonna, parang di na lang siya naging consistent. Parang ganun.
And they get too caught up in on the rules, on what's the best, most optimum thing for them. I was talking about that on my last podcast. What's the most optimum?
Yeah,
what's
it
the
may
most
not be,
perfect? Nothing is ever perfect.
It's very personal.
Exactly. And I think Grant put it well. Na it's not what is optimal, but what is appropriate given your situation. Yeah.
Optimal is very personal based off on what you can actually commit to.
Right. Bro, if you were to go back as a beginner, what would you do differently?
If I were to go back as a beginner, my God, compounds. I would focus on compounds. I used to do kasi chest Monday, chest Wednesday, chest Friday. Hindi lumaki chest ko dun.
Monday, Tuesday,
I would
Wednesday,
do like a
Thursday.
basic program, like full body man lang kung 3 times a week. Tapos get my protein up.
Mm-hmm.
That was something I was conscious about before na mababa talaga siya. I knew mababa talaga siya yung protein intake ko.
Mm-hmm.
So I increase my protein and focus on my compounds and my lifts. More mind muscle.
Mind muscle connection.
Yeah, like like after lifting for like after seriously lifting, mga 2 years to 3 years ko pa lang talaga na feel yung certain movements. Like, for my back, it took a while. And if I were to go back in time, inaral ko na talaga siya. Like, I would have focused more on, the feeling rather than the weight. Kasi minsan, when you're young, may ego eh. And ego is the enemy. So, admittedly, I was young too. So, buhat lang parang, uy, kaya ko itong bigat. May nanonood sa akin, di ba?
Yeah.
Parang, but that doesn't really make the most sense in terms of gains, di ba?
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, speaking of ego, I've seen a lot of your stories on Stoicism and you've been reading up on it. And somebody wants to know, what are your resources where they can read up on Stoicism as well?
So, I'm actually like, I don't know if this is a term, pero beginner stoic ako. I've been practicing the Stoicism, the philosophy, like over a month, more than a month na. And I read a lot of Ryan Holiday books. I listen to his podcasts and his YouTube channel. You can learn a lot from that. Like the basic, get your foot half in the door by just watching his videos. Tapos later on, if you think this is a philosophy that can help you. Ang philosophy kasi guys, it's just honestly, it cured my anxiety. I would say that. It helps you become, self-help siya eh. It helps you become a better person eh. That's why we do these things, diba? That's why we study these things. And admittedly, si Ryan Holiday, I actually bought 2 of his books na. Almost done with 1. The other one is more of a meditation book per day na you read. And when I work out, when I lift, sometimes you see in my stories na I listen to some stoic podcasts. Kasi that's how you practice it. I mean, you study it. Pero once you're done with the podcast, that's when you really practice it. So Ryan Holiday, check him out. Tapos maraming podcasts sa Spotify. I'll check one now. Like this one is daily lang siya, like mga 5 minutes lang siya.
That's the cool thing with philosophy, no? I mean, you can choose different philosophers and it's really, that's the thing. Like it's sometimes so abstract, but I guess the important thing is what resonates with you personally.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Like it's not gonna, Stoicism may not be for everyone, right? And yung Stoicism ko is, it's my faith. I believe in a God. Okay, I believe in God. I'm Catholic. It's Stoicism cross faith. Like it's not just like, oh, I'm a Stoic, I'm atheist. No, it's not like that. It's more like you kind of connect these two. We're old enough to find what we believe in, diba? So sa akin, ganun ginawa ko, kinonect ko sila. So ito, kung kita nyo, it's called Stoicism for a Better Life. Yan, tsaka Daily Stoic. So those are the 2 things na I listen to. Ryan Holiday yung isa di ko alam, pero
yun nga, I mean, it's just really what resonates with some people. Because I know a lot of friends who are huge believers in Nietzsche. Naman, yung parang the opposite of Stoicism eh. Yung parang siya talaga yung overmensch, ego, yung being the overman, yung being the best version you possibly can, and everything else is there to put you down.
Yeah.
You have to push through everything.
Oh yeah.
Yung completely opposite person.
Medyo similar in some aspects, pero not exactly.
Yeah. Complete opposite in terms of the ego. Yung one is to lower it, the other is to increase it beyond belief.
So Stoicism kasi is, ego is your enemy. And that's, honestly, that's the best thing na ginawa ko this quarantine, man. Like, honestly, like, just letting go of the ego. Like, anything that happens in your life, good or bad, move on from it. Accept it, move on from it. Like, for example, praise. People comment me like, oy, congrats sa YouTube channel ah. Like, I could, take it in and be like, oy, oo nga, laki na ng channel ko. But no, like, I view it as, instead of like, oy, malaki na yung channel ko, it's more like, what can I do to improve? I don't look at how big it is. Sometimes I'm actually like, I try to not focus on that kasi ego nga is the enemy. So, lalaki ulo mo eh. Yeah. Especially when it comes to the fitness, bodybuilding scene, syempre it's all physical, diba?
Oh,
and ego lahat, man. When you're, lalo na, I'm sure, but when you're prepping yung mga kalaban and everyone else is, pagandahan talaga ng katawan eh.
Bro, that's the thing. Like with some sports, you have to have an ego because otherwise, I mean, I think you showed me a video about the guy talking to the USC football team.
Yeah, see Ryan Holiday.
Yeah, him. So I think the reason why he's speaking to the football team in general is because in football, you have to have an ego. Because if you don't have an ego, you're going to get hurt on the field. So it protects you from getting injured, especially among wrestlers in the States, man. Yeah. It's all about ego. And I think in some aspect, bodybuilding too, when you're on stage, you have have to peacock. You have to be on stage and project
definitely.
to everyone.
Definitely.
Because that's the way you have to get noticed by some people.
Definitely.
So, but I mean, that's the thing. You can have an ego, but at the same time, don't be an asshole naman to people. I mean, it's important to be nice. It's important to treat everybody equally. It's important to treat them with respect.
That's number one.
Yeah.
That's number one. Like, recently nga, what's funny is, like, people, kasi I'm planning to collab with different YouTubers, like from bodybuilding talaga. Like, sample si Ken, right? Ken Hanaoka. And people are like, don't collab, ganyan. And that, it's not about that right? It's bigger than, this whole fitness thing is
they don't
bigger
want you
than...
to collab with him?
Like, some people don't. Like, parang ibang styles, ganyan. But like, it's not about that right? It's about mutual respect.
Right.
And you don't think na, oh, he's better than me, I'm better than him. Walang ganun It's more like fitness enthusiast and fitness enthusiast trying to help another person. That's it Diba? So that's the problem with other people. They sometimes they tell you like, you should do this, you should do that, diba?
Yeah, dude. And I mean, that's the problem right now I see in society so much. I mean, with the U.S. elections coming on, there's just this tribalist mentality that everyone has all of a sudden. Like, we are all in our little... I have to say it, Pat. I mean, we talked about this for an hour, but we all are put into like these small tribes of our own beliefs, and we are all backing each other up. We are all egging each other on, and we are now closed to different ideas, different personalities, different characteristics of individuals, to the point na we are just stroking our own ego in a way, especially when we keep ourselves confined into this group. It's a bubble.
It is.
I mean, I believe that
cultish.
It's cultish. Very cultish, extremely cultish. And yun nga when you start talking to people of different beliefs, you get to have a new perspective on life. And perspective for me is the thing that, we need to all achieve. We need to have new perspectives, because if you're stuck in your own perspective all the time, you're not going to grow. And that's the only thing that'll help you grow and help you change a different mindset and help you just grow as an individual mentally and physically.
Yeah. So as the Stoics would say, like, it's not what the other person can do for you, right?
Right.
It's what you can learn from the other person and what value you can provide to that other person. Parang ganun It's, you have to enrich yourself with, the value that you can find with everything. Okay? It could be your last day, something like that.
Yeah.
So find value in whatever it is. Even if it's a bad situation. Yan yung number one Stoic. The worst situations, find the good in it. There's a reason why it's happening. It's not life.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, it's not life if diba, if everything was smooth sailing. Where's the fun in that?
Yeah,
diba?
Exactly. Bro, all of the growth, all of the struggle. I mean, any way a person wants to grow, you have to go through struggle. You have to be uncomfortable. So, I mean, that's the only way to grow as an individual. If you're always comfortable, if you're just cruising through life, how will you react when something happens to you that's, difficult to get through? You won't be able to learn how to set goals to reach that, reach the other end of the tunnel. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So for this last question, I'm going to read this. Just to end this all, I'm going to give a nice question. Kuya, kwenta naman dyan ng memory na nagturo sa'yo na hindi mo makakalimutan.
So memory na hindi ko makakalimutan. Marami yan, but like, I guess it's the low points in life. Kasi that's how you get stronger Ito, you guys may see na I have a channel, ganyan, fitness, ganyan, but it's not all sunshine and smiles. There's a lot of work put behind it. Tapos, there was this point last year. Let's say, ito yung pinaka-recent, no? I quit my job. I was just, I'm done with this. I don't want it na. I'm not happy.
I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah, and I was earning decent money dun sa job ko. I was like, ano na ako dun may medyo managerial position na yun. I was like, I didn't want to do this. But I had coaching, so I was banking on that. And, alam mo naman, coaching is may weak month siya, lalo na when it comes to pa-December, ganyan. Diba? Kasi kakain na yung mga tao. So, I guess that point, no one knew. Even my family, nakwento ko recently, that was a low point kasi income to kahit. Tapos, I was starting YouTube. Nag-all-in ako sa YouTube. I barely had 1,000 subs. No one was watching my stuff. I was uploading weekly. I was editing it really super nice. Tapos, walang nanonood, bro. And I'm like, shit, sana mag 1,000 ako by December, by January. And I hit that. Thank God I hit that. Tapos, low point from January up until coronavirus. Kasi what savings I had may savings ako. But, syempre, wala masyadong active income, right? Like, we put up a gym. We were putting up a gym. Sayang yun. So, we invested an amount, syempre, as partners. Tapos, it never took off. Never had a chance kasi nagka-COVID. So, buti na lang, hindi pa namin nabibili yung equipment. That would have costed us way more.
Yeah.
So, thank God for that. But we were already paying for construction. Rent, we paid 6 months in advance, something like that. So, it was really a low point in my life. Like, wow, this is... wala na akong income, tapos yung savings ko pa na ininvest ko, tapos COVID. But then again, that's what makes you stronger eh. Yung ginawa ko dun was, instead na, well, there was this deep, dark point na nag-Mobile Legends lang ako ng araw-araw for like 2 months. Like talagang, lun lang talaga ginagawa.
I think like everyone else, bro.
Yeah, peak quarantine yun. Then, after that, I was just got back up and I was like, I can't keep doing this. So I focused on YouTube. I tried to do 2 uploads a week. Grind siya. Tapos from there, I don't know, something just happened. It just blew up. Siguro the algorithm favored my videos in some way. I don't know why, diba? Tapos it was such a blessing. Kasi YouTube brought out more, parang it brought out a lot of things eh. Mas marketable na ako, like brands come, tapos clients come, tapos YouTube pays you pa, but it's not really a huge amount na. But it's all of those things accumulated na, which parang it's my new income source. It's my new parang means of living, diba? So yung lowest point dun was wala na akong I didn't have a job, tapos wala akong masyadong savings. So for anyone experiencing something like that, that's very monetary. But what you do is you find, what I did was you try to do what you can with what you have. Like there's always something to do. Lalo na online. If you're passionate about it, that's one thing. You have to be passionate about it. Hindi yung parang pera, parang ganun. Like, so that was the low point, and I learned from that kasi it translates to other aspects in your life eh. If you can't, that's why when I read about Stoicism, medyo same yung ginawa ko without me even knowing what Stoicism is. Just focus on what you can now rather than dwell on what was lost. Diba? Because I can always think about like, wala na yung gym, wala na yung ganyan.
Yeah.
You just gotta move forward, and I'm sure you guys do that too.
Yeah, man.
Diba?
I mean, that's
you
the
don't
thing.
dwell on the things na you just focus on what you can and make it better and better and better.
Yep. I think the lesson here is to follow your passion and learn from your low points to make it a new high point and just strive and work towards that. Right?
Yep, definitely.
So, Jacob, I really enjoyed this podcast. If you want to plug your social media, please tell them where they can find you. But I'm sure that's not an issue here.
No, man, no. You're feeding my ego, bro. Ego is the enemy. But like, kidding aside, Jacob.Alava on Instagram, and it's Jacob Alava on YouTube. So I'm more active on, I'm active on both. No? So, but yeah, if you're a beginner, mas beginner friendly mga videos ko eh. And like, if you want to get started with flexible dieting and how to track macros, I do have a series on that. So check nyo na lang. And I also weigh out the pros and cons of flexible dieting, like counting calories, counting macros. Kasi again, it's not all sunshine and smiles when it comes to these things. No? So, ayun. Thank you guys for watching this. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Miko. Thank you, Pat, for having me. And thank you guys, and see you all. Subscribe.
Yun.
Subscribe.
Hope you guys enjoyed that podcast number 4 with none other than Jacob Alava. 3, 2, 1, and see ya.